essentially all the stitches down the right hand side are for stretchy fabric. We also have an overcasting stitch here, stitch H. So if we go to H, set the width to 5, leave the length set on SS. So for any of these stitches on the right hand side, we don't need to adjust the length, just need to leave it on SS. To bring it back to straight stitch, if we give it a length of say 3, turn to stitch A, and we're away again. This is reverse. If for some reason you wanted to adjust how hard this foot was pushing down on the fabric, there is a control for that on the end of the machine. Here you have position 0, 1, 2 and 3. Most of the time you'd have the machine set on maximum pressure, which would be setting 3. If for some reason the teeth or feed dogs underneath here, which pull the fabric through, are marking the underside of your fabric, you can always reduce how hard the foot pushes down on the fabric. That's a nice feature which is found on this machine. So to do a buttonhole now, all we have to do is press the little button on the back of the foot. The foot comes off. Then place our button in the buttonhole foot. In my case, a 20p piece. And we'll now do a buttonhole the same size as the button in the back of the foot. If the foot doesn't click straight on, press the button on the back and it will click on. To get the top thread through the hole in the foot, just turn it once like that and then use your fabric or a pair of scissors to get the fabric through the hole in the foot. Put the fabric under the foot, choose buttonhole, set the length onto buttonhole, and from experience I know we don't want to be in the right hand side of the buttonhole, we actually want to be a little bit shorter than centre. So set it just above 0. Give it maximum stitch width, and just behind the needle threader is a lever which we pull down, which senses once the machine has stitched the full length of the buttonhole. It then triggers the machine to change direction and complete the buttonhole. And there we have one completed buttonhole. This buttonhole, if you wanted the stitches a little bit denser than this, you could adjust the length to make it a little bit shorter, or if you're working on stretchy fabric, you might have wanted it spaced out a little bit more, so you could increase the length on the stitch length control. The tension on these machines is very stable. This is your thread tension control here, but pretty much you can leave that on position 4 all of the time. This is a really nice machine. We've sold many of these machines and never really had any problems at all. So if you're looking for a good solid machine at a reasonable price, this is a really excellent machine. Janome offer a huge range of accessories for their machines. Their accessories are broken into 3 categories. Category A is for front loading or oscillating machines. That's any machine that uses a metal bobbin case like this. Then there's Category B. Category B machines are a top loading machine like this one, where the bobbin goes in at the top. Then there's Category C, which are memory craft machines. The difference with the memory craft machines is that their accessories fit a little bit higher. So that's the memory craft machines. Most of the Janome feet snap on using this clever little system. So you press the button in the back, the foot pops off, and then you line up the foot, lower the lever, and the foot attaches. Some of the feet screw on. So anything like a walking foot or a darning foot would be screwed on. So to do that, you remove the ankle, usually easiest if you can to put the screw back on a few turns at this point. Then attach the walking foot. The walking foot is to try and stop slippage between layers of fabric. Particularly useful when quilting or working on long lengths such as curtains, etc. It's quite important to ensure that the lever here on the foot goes above the needle bar screw. What you can see here is that the teeth here and here are actually pushing down on the fabric and feeding the material backwards. So you have drive with the feed dogs underneath the fabric and drive with the teeth on the top on the walking foot. So that's the walking foot. The darning foot attaches in a similar way. So it's quite important with this one to ensure that this bar here goes above the needle bar screw. The next thing with the darning foot is to drop the feed dogs. Most machines have a little switch on the back or on the front of the machine. Draw the thread through the foot. And then you're ready to free machine embroider. So the idea is that as the needle's approaching the fabric, this foot here presses down on the fabric, stopping it from moving. The needle then penetrates the fabric. As the needle's rising back out of the fabric, this bar here pushes up against this bar here and raises the foot off the fabric, allowing the fabric to move again.